Your homework is to memorize this and write it 15 times.
Welcome to the coolest, hippest half hour of fun on TV. This is Brain Stew with Jennifer Pulley.
Have you ever flown on an airplane? If you have, you better thank Orville and Wilbur Wright. Brain Stew visits the historical grounds where the world's first power-driven airplane was flown. If you've never been on an airplane, we'll take a trip to NASA's state-of-the-art flight simulator to see what it feels like to fly in a jet. From gliders to jets, this week's Brain Stew explores the history of flight. So please put your seat in its upright position and get your feet off the table. We're ready to fly. Yoo-hoo, over here. Hey, welcome to Brain Stew. My name is Jennifer Pulley, and I'm standing in front of the Wright Brothers National Memorial in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And I'm overlooking the place where the world's first airplane took off. It's really cool. So what are we stewing about this week? Well, Brain Stew is stewing about the history of flight. You know, it's hard to believe that engine-powered airplanes have only been around for less than 100 years. My great-grandma, she's 101 years old. You know, she's been around longer than engine-powered airplanes have. Here's something to stew your brain. Today, NASA flies the space shuttle around the Earth using the latest computer technology available. Less than 100 years ago, that kind of technology was a dream, a fantasy. Speaking of dreams, two brothers from the state of Ohio had a dream of flight. They were Wilbur Wright and Orville Wright. Orville and Wilbur here were fascinated with flight. In fact, when they were your age, they liked to play with kites and toy helicopters and airplanes. Hey, I'm not your age, but I still like to play with these kind of toys. Woohoo! You know, the Wright brothers were also inspired by others who designed gliders. Gliders are airplanes without engines. Like balloons and this kite, for example, gliders fly only with the help of the wind. Like balloons and this kite, for example, gliders fly only with the help of the wind. Now, I don't want you to think that the Wright brothers invented flight. I mean, flight had been around even before the Wright brothers were born. In 1850, Englishman Sir George Cayley invented the first glider to be flown by man. That was years before the Wright brothers. However, no one had yet to invent a power-driven, heavier-than-air machine, or what we know today as an airplane. In the year 1900, brothers Wilbur and Orville Wright flew their first glider right here off this hill. The glider was a biplane. It had two wings instead of one, and it traveled 300 feet. Remember, gliders have no engine. It flew with the help of the wind. Those Wright brothers continued to test gliders right here from this hill in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. A few years later, the Wright brothers built their first propeller and lightweight gasoline engine. The propeller they built was more effective than other propellers available at the time. In 1903, the Wright brothers made history by flying the world's first engine-powered airplane. It was called Flyer 1, and Orville actually flew Flyer 1. He flew at a distance of 120 feet, and he was in the air about 12 seconds. Wilbur got his chance that same day, and he flew even longer than his brother. I'm sure they were so pumped. Why? 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 This was the beginning of gas-powered airplanes, modern aviation, you know, the kind of airplanes we use today. So now you get why Brain Stew traveled to North Carolina, to see the beginning of flight as we know it today. Now, even though teachers are supposed to know everything, and I'm a teacher and I do know a lot, I don't know everything. So I thought it'd be really awesome if we talked with a friend of mine. His name is Daryl Collins, and he works right over there. That's the Wright Brothers National Memorial Museum, and he works right over there. He's going to tell us all about the history of flight and the Wright Brothers. So fasten your seatbelts. Let's go. Morning, Daryl. How you doing?
Good morning, Jen. How you doing this morning?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here.
That's great.
Now, I have a question for you.
How did the Wright brothers get interested in flight?
Well, you know, when Orville was an old man, he was asked that question. And his answer was that they were inspired by a toy that the father brought home to them when they were 7 and 11 years old. It was a toy built by Alfonso Pinot.
Uh-huh.
This toy flew like a helicopter, and that toy went the way that most toys go. They broke it. But they didn't just throw it away. They repaired it. Then they start to reproduce the toy themselves.
And they lived in Ohio, correct?
They lived in Dayton, Ohio. That's where they had their bicycle shop. They started the bicycle shop in 1892, buying and selling. By the turn of the century, they were repairing and designing bicycles of their own design.
So they did other things other than flight.
Oh yeah, they were newspaper men. They were jacks of all trades.
Why did Wright brothers pick North Carolina to test their gliders and airplanes if they lived in Ohio?
Well, the first thing you need to fly a glider or a kite is wind. So they need constant wind. So they actually wrote the Weather Bureau in D.C. requesting a list of places on the whole East Coast where the winds were constant. Kitty Hawk was on the list. Somehow the letter went back into the postman's hands, William Tate, who invited the Wright brothers to come on down here.
To North Carolina.
But when they arrived, there were other advantages too. There were no trees here. All this was open beach.
Yeah.
There were actually big sand dunes to launch gliders off of. Then it was the people who lived here, the hospitality of the people that kept them coming back.
That's Southern hospitality.
Southern hospitality.
I'm Southern, and I'm very nice.
What problems did the Wright brothers face when flying a powered machine?
Well, this problem was too great for one mind to achieve, so the combination of two brothers together made this invention possible. And they identified problems that had to be solved in order for man to fly. One was the shape of a wing, actual wing that would produce lift.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next one was power, that lightweight engine to rotate the props to push the machine through the air. And the most important aspect of this invention was the control system that the Wright brothers developed around the three axes: pitch, roll, and yaw. That has been used in every aircraft built since the 1903 Wright Flyer.
And they came up with
They
it.
came up with that.
Daryl, you said that to design an aircraft took more than just one mind. It took two minds.
Who did the Wright brothers look to for inspiration?
Well, in the early 1890s, they were following the glider experiments of the German scientist Otto Lilienthal, who from 1892 to 1896 successfully made over 2,500 glides in Germany. His glider was made to almost look like bird's wings or bat wings.
Yeah.
And he would swing his hips back and forth to retain
So
the
he was on
balance.
it.
He
So
was
he
on
was-
it. He was actually flying it. He probably was the world's first hand glider expert.
Cool.
In 1896, though, his luck ran out and he was killed in an accident,
A flying
a
accident?
flying accident. His last words as he laid on the ground were, "Sacrifices must be made." The Wright brothers were inspired by his courage, his persistence, and his dedication, and this inspired them to carry on what he had left off.
What kind of tests did the Wright brothers perform in order to fly?
Well, the first 4 years of the Wright brothers' experiments was conducted with gliders only. And they actually used the math that was actually collected from Otto Lilienthal's experiments to build their first 3 gliders.
Okay, gliders meaning no engine.
No engine,
Okay.
no engine. Until they realized that in Lilienthal's math, there was an error in the numbers being used.
Maybe he didn't study his multiplication facts.
Yeah. So that's when the Wright brothers went to their own wind tunnel and they corrected Otto Lilienthal's math to design a wing that would actually fly, a true wing.
Wow. They
That-
made this?
This is it, a 6-foot wind tunnel. The Wright brothers called this wind tunnel their magic box. So this unlocked the secrets of aerodynamics. It was powered by a 1 horsepower gas engine that rotated the fan going through the honeycomb here.
Yep. Daryl, is this the real world's first airplane? This is Flyer 1?
Well, this is Flyer 1, but this is a reproduction. The real airplane is in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C.
Oh, right.
But this is a full-scale model,
Look at this thing. How
built
big is
to exact specs.
How big was the world's first airplane?
It was a wingspan of 40 feet, 4 inches. It was a pretty big airplane, weighed about 605 pounds. They built this airplane in their spare time. How many kids build airplanes in their spare time?
Nah, not any that I know.
What was Flyer 1 made out of?
It was made out of wood, spruce, and ash. The cloth was unbleached cotton muslin used for bed linen, sheets, wire.
It's absolutely amazing. And it got off the ground and it flew.
This model will end up taking 50 skilled craftsmen 3 years to build it at a cost of over $500,000.
And now wait a minute, you're telling me that it took 56 people to build it in 1960, but that in 1903 it took 2 people to build it?
How long did it take the Wright brothers to build Flyer 1?
Wright brothers built the whole airplane in their spare time in 6 months.
And how much did it cost for them to build it?
A little bit over $1,000.
And you know what? That looks like something that the kids will recognize. I mean, I recognize it. It looks like a bicycle.
Oh yeah, there's
chain.
a lot of bicycle parts here. The Wright brothers actually used their tools to build and repair bicycles to build the airplane.
How far did it fly, Daryl?
Well, the first flight that morning was 120 feet in 12 seconds.
How high did Orville fly on his first flight?
15 feet.
That's it, 15 feet.
Yeah.
And Orville was the first one to
Orville
fly?
was the first one to fly, but this is Wilbur here.
Oh.
Orville has the mustache.
Oh.
He's over on the glider.
Okay.
Now, kids, we might come back tomorrow morning and Orville be on the airplane and we'll be on the glider. They take turns, you know.
Do they do? And that's good. Well, they're brothers. They need to share. They need to share. Daryl, what are these things right here?
Well, this is the Wright brothers instrument panel. They didn't just want to fly. They wanted to know how fast they were flying and how far they were flying. This is an anemometer, a Richards anemometer, and this is the vane for the anemometer. This is a wind speed indicator. In between that was a stopwatch. With these two instruments, they calculate distance flown through the air from the time they calculate the airspeed of the flights.
Now, modern planes have those, but
yeah.
it's all computerized now.
Yeah.
Daryl, you are a wealth of information.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm thrilled. I'm so glad to have been here, and I really appreciate all the information you've given me.
You're very welcome.
It's great.
Thank you for making my brain stew.
We're gonna have to hire this guy. He's pretty good. You guys, you don't want to go away. Okay? It's great to imagine what the Wright brothers would have felt like when they learned how to fly, but what if we could experience it? Well, we can and we will. Up next, we fly over to NASA Langley in Hampton, Virginia, to experience what today's technology can allow us to do with flight. The Wright brothers would have loved to experience this one. Hey, don't touch that remote. You're in for a wild ride. Hey guys, we just landed here in NASA Langley in Hampton, Virginia. NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I knew that, I didn't have to look. My friend Rob, he works here and he's going to show us how the Wright brothers' accomplishments have taken us from the history of flight to the future of flight. Hey Rob, how are you?
Jennifer, fine. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here at NASA. Now, I need to ask you a question first. Tell us what you do, what's your job?
I'm a research pilot here at NASA. We test airplanes, new ideas, new types of airplanes, and concepts that'll go on airplanes in the future.
Hence the fighter pilot
Exactly
outfit
right.
kind of thing. Okay, now, where have you taken me? I've traveled through all these buildings, and now I'm in this huge building.
We're in NASA Langley's high bay simulator area. We have 3 simulators in this room. It's a huge room, as you can see. Behind you, you have 2 big domes, and there's a flight simulator in each dome that's used to simulate fighter airplanes.
And then there's the third one there?
And there's a third simulator over there, which can be used to simulate any type of an airplane. It can provide motion, so you can actually feel like you're flying. You can simulate space planes, spaceships. And as you can see, it's moving right now, simulating some type of maneuver that an airplane is flying.
Are the Wright brothers important to NASA today?
Oh, without question. And they were the first people to fly a powered aircraft in history, and they did it right down the road there at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, as you well know. All flight has come from that first experience. And here at NASA Langley, we're looking at future type airplanes and more advanced type of flying, improvements to flying, making airplanes safer, making them faster, making them fly better. So certainly everything we've done has come and developed from the time of the Wright brothers. In fact, the original Wright brothers wind tunnel, the wind tunnel they used to help.
Remember we saw that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
we
help
saw that.
refine their design. It actually led to the same experimental techniques we use today with the wind tunnels you'll see all around the Langley Research Center.
Of course, your wind tunnel isn't just a little wooden box
Now
like
we have
this.
wind tunnels that go from little boxes up to huge wind tunnels you can put a full-scale airplane in.
We've got 3 simulators in this building.
In this building, right.
What are NASA's flight simulators used for?
Well, these 2 behind us, you see these 2 big green domes.
Yep.
These are used to simulate advanced fighter aircraft. We have a fighter cockpit in each simulator. These 2 simulators can actually work together. So you put one pod in one simulator and one in the other, and they can fly against each other.
Would you show me that?
Sure, be glad to.
And is this where you spend part of your day?
Exactly right. Right this way.
Great. No red lights flashing or anything?
None at all.
Wow.
You notice when you talk in here, it kind of echoes. This is a big dome that was built at Newport News Shipyard, as a matter of fact, right here in the local area.
It's gorgeous.
We can walk right up here now. I'll let you get in the cockpit.
Oh, great.
Just go ahead and sit right in.
Rob, this is like a cockpit of a real jet.
It sure is. It's not like any jet you'll ever find, though. This is all for research purposes. We have 3 TV screens here, which we can program to display many different types of information. Again, we can make this simulate a number of different kinds of airplanes, but you have to kind of use your imagination. But with the different displays, we can give the pilot information to make him think he's flying an F-18 or an F-16 or some advanced fighter that's on the drawing board. But the main value of this simulator is the visual scene, this 360-degree, huge panoramic scene. And when you're flying this, you actually think you're flying an airplane.
And so you can fly over canyons and, mountains.
And you can fly over canyons, mountains. You can fight other airplanes. You know, a target can be put up out in the distance, and you can actually maneuver against that target. And the neat thing is we can make it behave like any airplane you can imagine, just by changing the computer program.
NASA, VMS, you guys have so many acronyms here at NASA.
You only talk in letters around here.
I assume so. Now, this is the visual motion simulator.
Right.
What's the difference between the simulator that you just flew in and this one?
Okay, this one we can actually provide full motion. We can make you think like you're actually feeling you're in an airplane. You can feel yourself climb, you can feel yourself bank, and you can feel yourself accelerate and land. And when
it moves.
These other simulators we just flew give fantastic visual scenes.
Yeah, I felt like I was moving when I was watching.
Exactly right, and they're good for aerobatic flight and for doing you know, two airplanes flying together, fighting against each other.
But you didn't move.
But you don't move anymore. So now, if you want to get simulate an airplane where you actually want to get the cues to the pilot, you want to have a full motion capability.
Now, can you show me the inside of this?
We sure can.
Oh, wow.
You see it?
You do have the visuals, but I know what you mean. It's not, the visuals aren't like they were the same.
Exactly
you know,
right.
They weren't all encompassing. But
this is more like a airliner, like a 747 cockpit. But we have a sidearm controller there instead of a wheel.
Yep.
But over here we have a center stick, so we can fly an airplane like a helicopter or a fighter that uses the center stick over here, or an advanced airliner using the side stick over there.
All right, Rob, where are we going next?
Okay, we're going next to a simulator that's going to look much more like a current state-of-the-art transport airplane, but it's even a little bit more futuristic than that. It's kind of the next generation of transport cockpits.
All right, I'm ready. Let's
okay,
go.
Let's go.
Let me tell you, Orville and Wilbur Wright, they would just be so excited to see this.
Oh, I think so, without question.
Where are we, Rob?
We're in the cab of a transport cockpit of the future, maybe the next generation. This is just beyond the 747-400 or the Boeing 777, two of our newer transports in this country. If you notice, we have some things that are different from that last simulator. We have a lot more displays up here, and a lot more information can be presented to the pilot. We also have a side stick where you can fly instead of a traditional wheel and column.
That's right.
And we have computer interface where you can actually put in a navigation route. You can, exactly right, punch in a lot of different information that when you want to communicate with the computers that are helping to run this airplane. But what we see here at NASA is probably the next generation of cockpits of transport airplanes.
Well, now, are we still going to get the peanuts and the soda?
We hope so.
Okay, all right, because that's important.
That's probably still going to stay.
Okay. Hey, you guys, I'm in a hangar now. A hangar is a place where they keep airplanes. Rob, this is a huge airplane.
It is huge. This is a Boeing 757, and the simulator we just saw is an advanced, I told you, it was like an advanced cockpit of
like
the future.
10 years.
Exactly right.
10 years.
We use this airplane, which is a current airliner. 757s fly all over the world right now, and we use this airplane with that advanced cockpit, and we can test advanced concepts for the way airplanes will fly in the future.
So you're really going to actually take this out and fly this to test
Oh, exactly right. We've done it already. We did it, done several experiments in the past. We'll do a lot more in the future. Again, with that advanced cockpit, we'll be back in the back of the airplane. We can fly it in the middle of the airplane with that cockpit we saw. We'll be able to fly it from the front of the airplane.
Rob, I want to thank you so much
my pleasure.
for this trip to NASA and all the simulators and the airplanes that you showed us. It's wonderful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I really wish, though, that Wilbur and Orville could have been here to see
I
all
wish
that.
they could, too. I'm sure they'd be very proud.
That's right. You guys stick around. I'm going to go get my pilot's license so I can fly back down to Kitty Hawk to get some health and fitness. We're going to learn all about hang gliding. Plus, we visit those flighty librarians. Just kidding, ladies. And we have a really cool flight experiment. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Wilbur and Orville came to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina because there was plenty of space and a constant wind. This magical experiment will show us how airspeed, like wind, affects flight. And you only need two things: a funnel, and a ping pong ball. This may look like a soccer ball, but it is a ping pong ball. Follow me. Turn the funnel upside down. Hold the ping pong ball in the funnel with your finger. Next, take a deep breath and blow into the narrow end of the funnel. Then remove your finger from the ball as you continue to blow. Got it? Now try it with me. Did you see that? The ball floated inside the funnel even though I blew out. Wow. Here's why the ball didn't fall out. The faster the air passes by the ball, the less pressure is put on the ball. The air pressure above the ball is less than the pressure under it. So the ball is held up by air. The pressure of moving air explains the upward lift on the wings of an aircraft. When the air flows faster over the top of the wing than below, there is an upward push called lift. That's how the Wright brothers were able to get their planes off the ground.
You still there? We're back. We're here at Kitty Hawk Kites. I'm here with my buddy Bruce. What's up, Bruce?
How you doing?
I'm good. I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
We were talking about Otto Lilienthal, Orville, Wilbur Wright, all those guys. What do those guys have to do with your specialty, hang gliding?
Those guys are the grandparents of hang gliding. They started it all for us. They did so many gliding flights before they ever got into any kind of motorized flying like Wilbur and Orville Wright did. They flew gliders down those hills for years before they ever put a motor on it, and they shifted their weight to control it, just like we do in a hang glider.
And it's still going on today?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, when we say hang gliding, okay, I guess you're hanging and you're gliding.
That's right.
No motor.
No motor.
Explain a little bit to me what the contraption looks like. We know what Orville's and Otto's look like.
Okay, well this is a hang glider right over here. Basically the thing's made out of aluminum and dacron, which is a kind of material that we make the sail out of. That makes the airfoil shape that makes the wing, okay? And then we hang underneath it, hang gliding.
Yeah.
And we shift our weight to control it. And that's how the thing works.
To steer it.
That's exactly right. All you have to do is, if you want to turn to the right, you shift your weight to the right. If you want to turn to the left, you shift your weight to the left.
How do you stop?
How do you stop? You just come down and you land just like a bird. Just land right on your feet.
You make it sound so easy.
It's simple.
Bruce, in your opinion, where's the best place to hang glide?
The best place is right here in Nags Head, North Carolina on Jockey's Ridge. Big giant sand dune that is perfect to fly on. In fact, it's just like the area that the Wright brothers first flew on. You fly off those soft sands and easy ocean breezes. Makes it simple.
And it's gorgeous.
Oh man, it's great. Yeah.
How long have you been flying?
I've been flying for 11 years.
So you pretty much, and you're in pretty good shape, I
Yes,
must say.
still in good shape.
So what are the health benefits then of hang gliding?
Well, the health benefits are that, first of all, you get to walk up and down the dunes for one, which keeps you in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Also, it keeps you in pretty good mental shape just being able to fly up there with the birds.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. You can't beat it.
Bruce, thank you so much for introducing us to hang gliding and telling us a little bit about what it's about.
No problem at all. No problem at all. You need to get out there and try it. You'd love it.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, man.
Think
Yeah.
I could fly?
Oh, like a bird.
I'm going to go try it. I am. Thank you
Excellent.
so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Bye. So, did your brain get enough? All I can say is my brain is packed with information on Orville, Wilbur, NASA, Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills, hang gliding. Phew! It's amazing. My brain is packed. So until next week, keep your brain stewing, because you never know what you might learn. See ya! Whoa. I do know a lot about how to fall off a monument. The propeller they built, it was the most effective propeller.
Wilbur and Orville came to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, because there was plenty of space and constant wind.
You stick around, okay? Ooh, sorry. Up next, we're flying out to Kitty Hawk, back to North Carolina, to learn about hang gliding. However, no one had yet to invent a heavier-than-air machine. I'm gonna use my pilot's license to get me back to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.